Today we're going to be looking at multiplication and division, so let's get straight into it. Okay, so when it comes to multiplying, we always have the bigger number on top and the multiplier at the bottom. So let's have a look for the first one. It seems we have our 2 times table, and for the second one, it seems we'll be working with our 5 times table. So let's start with the first one, 456 times 2. Alright, so when it comes to multiplication, as you know, we start from the right and then we move each column to the left. So 2 times 6 is 12. We remember that our 1s goes in there and our 10s goes in the next column, and we'll add it next. 2 times 5 is 10. Don't forget to add the 1. That's 11. So we've got 11 there. Put my 10s underneath the next column. 2 times 4 is 8. Add the 1 is 9. So my answer for the first one, 456 times 2 is 912. Let's move on to the next one. 5 times 321. The bigger number on top, the multiplier at the bottom. It's our 5 times table. 5 times 1 is 5. 5 times 2 is 10. Put my 1s there, 0, and my 10s goes underneath. And 5 times 3 is 15. Adding the 1 underneath it becomes 16. So the answer is 1605. Okay, that's how we do it. We have practiced it a lot. Let's see if you can do your own. Pause the video when you're ready and unpause it when you're ready for the answers. Right, let's have a look. So we've got 268 times 4 and we have 359 times 3. So it's our 4 times table and our 3 times table. With the first question, 268 times 4. 4 times 8 is 32, so I'll put my 1s underneath there, and my 10s, the 3 goes underneath. Then we've got 4 times 6, 24. 24 add 3 is 27, so I'll put the 7 there, and the 2 into the next column. And then 4 times 2 is 8. Don't forget to add the 2, that becomes 10. So my answer is 1072. Next one, 3 times table. 359 times 3. We have 3 times 9, which is 27. Put the 7 there and my 10s underneath the next column. 3 times 5 is 15. 15 add 2 is 17. So I put another 7 in there and my 10s goes into the next column. 3 times 3 is 9. 9 add 1 is 10. Alright, did you get that right? So we've got 1072 for the first answer and 1077 for the other answer. Okay, so long multiplication. Long multiplication just means that you're multiplying 2 or more digits to a number. So let's have a look. We're going to start with our 1s and then we'll move on to the 10s afterwards. We've got 528 times 95 and we have 663 times 49. So let's start with the first one, 5 times 8. So 5 times 8 is 40. Put the 1s there, put my little 10s underneath. 5 times 2 is 10. Add the 4 is 14. My 1s there, my 10 underneath for the next column. And 5 times 5 is 25. Add the 1 is 26. So 2, 6. There we go. Right, next, if you have a look, we've done the 1s. We're now going to do this one here, the 10s. So as we're dealing with 10s and it's 90, not 9, we put our 0 there ready, our placeholder. Okay, what is 9 times 8? 9 times 8 is 72. So I've got my 2 there and my 7 just underneath the next column. 9 times 2 is 18. 18 add 7 is 25. Let's put my 5 there. My 20 underneath to the next column. And then 9 times 5 is 45. 45 add 2 is 47. Squeeze that in at the end. And then we got my 7 there. There we go. Okay, now for the final step. We're going to add them all together vertically. So this is something I do. It just helps my brain when it comes to adding. Now I can see that I've done my carryover for the 10s here. I'm just going to cross them out slightly, just enough to know that they're there, but enough to not get confused when adding. There we go. So now I can do it. It is good practice because I've seen before in some of your exams where let's say you've got 0 add 0 is 0, and then 4 add 2 is 6, but you've added the 4 as well. So we've got 4 add 4 add 2, which changes it completely, doesn't it? So that's why I like to cross them off. Let's have a look. 4 add 2 is 6. 6 add 5 is 11. 2 add 7 is 9, plus the 1 is 10. 0 there, 1 next. And 4 add 1 is 5. So my answer for this one is 50,160. So for the second one, we have 663 times 49. So as always, we'll start with our ones, which is the 9 times table. 9 times 3, I've got 27. One's there, the 10's underneath. 9 times 6. Okay, so 10 times 6 is 60. If I take 6 away from it, it gives me 54. So 9 times 6 is 54. If I add 2 to it, it gives me 56. So put my 6 there, 5 underneath. And then again, 9 times 6. Well, I already know it's 54. So I can write 54. Once I've added the 5, it should give me 59. I'll put my 9 here. And as there's nothing next, I can put my 5 there as well, my 10's there. Okay, we've done that. What is the next thing I need to do? Do you remember? It should be, now that we're dealing with our 40, yep, our 4, that we remember it's a 40, not a 4, and we put our placeholder in just there. All right, what's 4 times 3? 4 times 3 is 12, so I put my 2 here. 10's there. 4 times 6, 24. If I add the 1, it gives me 25. 2 there. And again, 4 times 6 is 24. If I add the 2, it gives me 26. Okay, done. Final stage now. Remember, because I just like a bit of order, I'm going to cancel off now what I carried over before, just so there's no confusion when I add up. Okay, 7 add 0 is a 7. 6 add 2 gives us 8. 9 add 5 gives us 14. And 5 add 6 gives us 11. If I add the 1 to it, it gives me 12. And 2, along with the 1, is 3. So I have 32,487 for my answer. Okay, it is a bit long-winded when we do this, but it is very simple. You just need to remember a few things. So number 1, do your 1s, and when it comes to your next one, your 10s, always remember that place value, because it's always important. And after you've done your second row of 10s, after you've done row number 2 of 10s, you then just need to add them together. My tip for adding them together, because I've made the mistake over and over, is just to cross out what you've carried over before, just in case, because I'm able to make the digits very small, but sometimes, especially when you're in an exam, it is hard, and if you're carrying over, your numbers can get bigger, and it does confuse you and fluster you a little bit. So that's my little tip for that. You now need to have a go, see if you can do one yourself. So freeze the video when you're ready. You've got 2. You've got 385 times 24 and 577 times 52. So like I said, freeze the video and I'll give you the answers once you unfreeze. Okay, welcome back. Let's have a look. So we got 385 times 24, 577 times 52. Let's get straight into the first one, 4 times table. 4 times 5 is 20. 4 times 8 is 32. Add the 2 is 34. 4 times 3 is 12. If I add the 3, it gives me 15. 10s. Let's get my placeholder in. Excuse me. 2 times 5 is 10. Put my 0 there. My 10's there. 2 times 8 is 16. 16 add 1 is 17. And next, 2 times 3 is 6. If I add 1 to 6, it gives me 7. Lovely. Right, that's done. Again, did you do this? Let's cross these out just for when we're able to add up. So you can still see, if you was to come back to it later, you could still see what you wrote. So underneath the 4, you can clearly see there's a 2. And next to it, underneath the 5, you can still clearly see it's a 3. So it is always good to come back to. Just one little score, just to pop it out for while you count. Okay, 0 add 0 is 0. 4 add 0 is 4. 5 add 7 is 12. 1 add 7 is 8. Not to forget what we've got there, the 1. Makes a total of 9. 9,240. Okay, how did you get on with that one? Excuse me. Let's look at the next one. 577 times 52. Nice and easy. 2 times table straight away. 2 times 7 is 14. 2 times 7 again is 14. If I add the 1 to it, it becomes 15. 2 times 5 is 10. Again, if I add the 1, I get 11. Okay, next, I'm going to put my placeholder in. It's now my 10 times table. Alright, 5 times 7. 5 times 7 is 35. Put my 5 there, my 3 underneath. 5 times 7 again is 35, but if I add 3 to it now, it gives me 38. My 30, the next column. And 5 times 5 is 25, but if I add 3 to it, it gives me 28. Alright, step 3. I'm going to just score these out, and now we can add up. 4 add 0 is 4. 5 add 5 is 10. 1 add 8 is 9, plus the 1 is 10. 1 add 8 is 9, plus the 1 again is 10. And 2 add 1 is 3. Okay, so we've got a bigger one now. We've got 30,004. So 30004. Okay, and just because I need to, I have to insert my commas. Little peeve of mine. There we go. So 30,004. Okay, so I hope this helped. Now we're going to have a look at a little challenge, alright? I want you to find the mistake. So I'm going to put on the next slide. Now I've made some errors there. Can you identify what those errors are? Okay, pause the video. We'll go through some answers in a minute. Okay, how did you get on then? Let's have a look. So 364 times 2. Nice and easy. It's our 2 times table. 2 times 4 is 8. That seems to be correct so far. 2 times 6 is 12. I put my 2 there. Oh no. My 1 is in the next column, not underneath though. So that one's wrong, isn't it? And 2 times 3 is 6, which is correct. But my 6 is also now in the wrong column because I made that initial mistake first, not by carrying. So it should be 2 times 3 is 6, add the 1 is 7. But because of that mistake, it's got my answer wrong. Okay, well done if you found that out. Next, we've got a long multiplication one. We've got 6,726 times 35. Again, we started with the 5s. 5 times 6 is 30, so I got my 0 there and my 3 underneath, that's correct. Next, 5 times 2 is 10, and then if we add the 3, it gives us 13. I've got my 3 there and my 1s there, well done. 5 times 7 is 35. 35 add 1 is 36. I seem to put my 6 there. I've got my 3 where it needs to be to carry over. And finally, 5 times 6 is 30. 30 add 3 is 33. Okay, so the whole top row is correct. I can see that now. That's fine. Let's move on to the next one. I'm going to change my color. I should have put my place value in ready. And oh no, I've immediately found out what's wrong. There we go. So I should have put a 0 there. Instead, I've jumped straight in and I've done 3 times 6, which is 18. It's wrong. And now it's correct, but because it's misaligned now, everything changes when it comes to your final step of adding them together. So what do I mean? It means that 0 on top with a 0 underneath, this shouldn't be 8, it should be 0. So because the place values are off now and the placeholder wasn't there, it's thrown off the whole answer. So well done if you identified those. I hope you did. If you didn't, you can make mistakes freely and then go ahead and see where you went wrong. So this is a good little exercise for that. Okay, now we'll look at division. So division, I love it because it's just multiplication in reverse. Every division question has a divisor. In this instance, we've got a divisor of 2, so our 2 times table, and a divisor of 5, which will be our 5 times table. So we know with these questions, we're going to be using the 2 times table and 5 times table. What number are we dividing? So for the first one, it's 452. And for the second one, it's 1,563. Now these numbers are called the dividend. So the dividend, okay, a little bit of maths talk, but we'll get straight into it. So for the first one, we've got a divisor of 2. How many times does 2 go into 4? It goes twice, so I'll write the number just on top. Second, how many times does 2 go into 5? 2 goes into 5 twice, because I know it's 4. I'm just going to put my 4 underneath, it helps me. And we've got a little bit remaining, so the remainder. So what I do, like I said always, I normally write the number underneath just to help me, because it can be overwhelming when you do division. I now add up. So 4 add what is 5? 4 add 1 is 5. That's my remainder. So how many times does 2 go into 5? It goes 2, remainder 1. I put the remainder onto the next number there. So it's not now how many times does 2 go into 2, but it's how many times does 2 go into 12. So how many times does 2 go into 12? The answer is 6. So the answer there is 226. Okay, let's do the same method for the next one. How many times does 5 go into 1? It doesn't, because 1 is smaller than 5. So what do I do now? I have to now merge my next number. So I've got a 10, haven't I? I've got 15 now. So let's have a look at that. How many times does 5 go into 15? It goes in 3 times. So I put my number just above that. Next, how many times does 5 go into 6? I know it goes once, because 5 times 1 is 5. And if I add 1, it gives me 6. So my remainder goes there. How many times does 5 go into 13? 5, 10. So it goes in twice, which is 10. And 10 add what is 13? It's 3. So I've got a remainder of 3. Now because I can't put it to the next number, because there is no next number, I can literally just write R for remainder and 3. So the answer, how many times does 5 go into 1,563? The answer is 312, remainder 3. Okay, I hope this helps. My little hack here is to really remember to write these underneath somewhere, because it really does help when you need to add up or find your remainders later. Okay, can you have a go doing these yourselves now? Remember, pause the video, and when you're ready for the answers, you can unpause it then. Let's look at some answers then. So I've got a divisor of 4 and a divisor of 3. So I've got my 4 times table and my 3 times table. So first question, how many times does 4 go into 732? I'll start with the first one. How many times does 4 go into 7? It goes once. My answer is 4. 4 times 1 is 4. What do I have remaining? 4 add 3 is 7. So I put my remainder there. How many times does 4 go into 33? Well, I know that 4 times 8 is 32. So I put 8 on the top. I've written 32 underneath just to help me out for my remainders. 32 add 1 is 33. So I put my remainder there, making the 2 the 12. How many times does 4 go into 12? It goes in 3 times. And there's my answer, 183, with nothing left over, no remainders. Okay, if we look at the next one, I can see my divisor is 3, and I've got a dividend of 625. So it's my 3 times table. How many times does 3 go into 6? It goes twice. How many times does 3 go into 2? It doesn't. So remember, we're going to merge our next number. We've now got 25. So because 3 doesn't go into 2, just put a little 0 there, and then I can work out how many times does 3 go into 25. I know that 3 times 8 is 24. Put my 24 there. My 8 on top. Alright, finally, 24 add what is 25? It's 1. So I've got a remainder of 1. So 208, remainder 1. Did you get that right? Did you do it this way? And I hope it helped. There are many ways you can do this. Whatever's the easiest way for you, do it. But if you were a bit unsure, or if this way helped you a bit more, you're welcome to use this method for doing it. Okay, now it's going to get a bit trickier. Now that we've mastered this, we're going to now look at long division. Long division is exactly the same, but instead of having a divisor of 9 or less, we're going to go into the tens now. So we've got 11 as our divisor and 628 as our dividend. So how many times does 11 go into 628? Right, before I do anything, I know my times table is going to be 11 because that's my divisor. So to help me with this, with these bigger numbers, I always take the time just to get my 11 times table somewhere on the page. So I can start just here by doing my times table now. So let's just do 11s. If you don't know your 11s times table, then just keep adding 11. Whatever the divisor is, keep adding every time. We've got 11, we've got 22, which brings me to my hack. 11 times table up to 99 is just the same number twice. So we've got 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, 5, 6, 6, 7, 7, 8, 8, 9, 9, and then just add 11 now. So I've got 10, which is 110. Add 11, it gives me 121. And then if I add 11 to that again, it gives me 132. There we go. So at least I've got my 11 times table up to number 12. 12 times 11 is 132. I'm going to use this now to take pressure off me for answering the division question. It always helps me. If you like this method, use it. Let's have a look. Same rules applies as earlier. So let's answer the question. How many times does 11 go into 628? And we can use this table, times table grid next to us, to help us work out the answer. So make sure it's correct. How many times does 11 go into 6? It doesn't. How many times does 11 go into 62? So let's have a look. You can put 0 there or leave it. So the rule is you can have number 62 or less. You can't go higher. So I'm going to scroll here. I'm going to have a look for number 62, which I can't see. I see 66. The rule is I can't go that number. I can go 62 or less. And there we go. 55 is the next number. So just to remember, I'm going to write 55 underneath it to help me out for later. All right, how many times does 11 go into 62? It goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So my answer is 5. Let me put 5 on top. So I've got 5. And because the hard work's already done, I can just count up now. 55 add what is 62? The answer is 7. So I've got a remainder of 7, which I'll pop over here. And then that's it. I just need to do the final part. How many times does 11 go into 78? Okay, the same rules apply. I can find 78 on here or the next number underneath it. Let's have a look. I got 77 or 88. So 77 is perfect, isn't it? So how many times does that go? Let's find out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times it goes. So it goes in 7 times. What number is it? 77. Just write that underneath just to help me. So how much is remaining? 77 add 1. So I've got a remainder of 1 left to make 78. So the answer is 57, remainder 1. Now it is a lot, but by doing this method and getting used to it, it really will help. Right, we've got 25 this time. So we've got a divisor of 25, a dividend of 5,698. So how many times does 25 go into 5,698? I'm going to start straight away by doing my 25 times table. So I got 25, and then 50, and then 75, and then 100. I'm going to stop there and show you the hack. Every time you count in 25s, this pattern will always repeat itself. So 25, 50, 75, 100. It's now going to be 125, 150, 175, 200. Same again. 225, 250, 275, and then 300. Okay, that's a lot. I've gone way over 12 there, haven't I? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Oh, fine. All right, so this should help us now, ready to answer our questions. So First one, how many times does 25 go into 5? It doesn't. You can put a 0 or you can just leave it. Normally I'll leave it, but we'll put it at 0 here. So I need to now find out how many times does 25 go into 56. So let's do that now. How many times does 25 go into 56? I can find 56 here or less, and I found it. 75 is too big, so I'll go with 50. 50. All right, how many times does 25 go into 50? 1, 2. It goes in 2 times. Right, now for the remainder. 50 add what is 56? Well, the answer is 6. I'll put my 6 there, and I've now got 69. 25, how many times does that go into 69? Well, let's do the same thing. Let's find 69 here. I can't. So 50 it is again. So I'm going to put 50 just here. How many times does 25 go into 50? It goes in twice. Now let's have a look. 50 add what is 69? 50 add 19. 69. Okay, and then I've got the final one. How many times does 25 go into 198? Because my remainder previously was 19. How many times does 25 go into 198? Like I said, because all the hard work's already done, I go straight to my times tables. I can find 198 or just the number below it. 200, ooh, it's close, but it's too big. So it's 175. 175. Right, now for the second part. How many times does it go into 175? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It goes in 7 times. Right, there's no number next to it, so let's get ready for our remainder. 175 add what is 198? Well, 175 add 20 is 195, and then add 3, so it's 23. So there's my answer. How many times does 25 go into 5,698? The answer is 227, remainder 23. Okay, I hope this helped. It is a bit trickier than the first one, but the same rule applies. All you need to do is get your times tables on there already. And if it's tricky, just keep adding the divisor to the next number and the next number and the next number. Okay. Time for you to have a look now at the next one. How many times does 12 go into 569? So your turn, have a go. If you want to, you can use the method I used. Write all the times tables down next to it. Pause the video, attempt it, and we'll see if you got it right. Right, let's have a look at the answers then. So my divisor is 12, so I need my 12 times tables in there. So just so I don't have to use my brain too much, I'm going to write my 12 times tables. Got 12, 12 add 12 is 24, add 12 again is 36. Keep going, I've got 48. If I keep going, I've got 60. 60 add 12 is 72. 72 add 12 is 84. 84 add 12 is 96. Add 12 is 108. Add 12 again, I've got 10 times table, 120. And then 132. And then 144. Okay, so I've gone up to 12 there. Right. Excuse me. How many times does 12 go into 5? It doesn't. Like I said, you can put the 0 there or leave it. Next stop. How many times does 5 go into 56? So let's have a look on the table. I haven't got 56, but I have got 48. So I'll write 48 just underneath it. How many times does 12 go into 48? Let's have a look. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4. So my answer is 4. Now let's find what our remainder is. 48 add what is 56? Well, 48 add 8 is 56. So I've got a remainder of 8. I'll just put that there. Okay, next, how many times does 12 go into 89? I can't find 89 on the times tables, but I do find 84. So let's go for that then. 84 How many times does it go in? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It goes in 7 times. Right, 7 there. Okay, so I've got 47. Let's find out what the remainder is. 84 add what is 89? 84 add 5 is 89. So I've got a remainder of 5. Okay, how many times does 12 go into 569? The answer is 47, remainder 5. I hope you got it right. I hope you understood it. You can replay it as many times as you like. Come ask me. I can show you in class as well. And we've been doing this now for quite a while, haven't we, in class? And you seem to all be doing it. I see in your exams and your arithmetic tests, you're actually using that now. And it's showing a lot of success. So continue to use it. Practice it as much as you like. And you can have a go now of seeing if you can find the mistake. Okay, so find the mistake challenge. In this challenge, we've got a divisor of 2, and then we've got a divisor of 15. So I haven't bothered doing the 2 times table because I know it in my head. If you think it will help you, you're welcome to do the 2 times table before starting that you can make reference to when you come to dividing it. So have a look, pause the video, see if you can see what I've done wrong, and go ahead and answer it now. Okay, let's have a look at some answers then. All right, first one, how many times does 2 go into 569? Okay, 2 divided by, how many times does 2 go into 5? It goes in twice, so that's correct, with a remainder 1 there. Well done. How many times does 2 go into 16? It goes in 8 times. That's also correct. So next, how many times does 2 go into 9? It goes in 4, which is correct. And oh dear, I can see what's wrong there. The remainder 1 has gone there. Instead of it being remainder 1 at the end, I've gone ahead and I've put the remainder 1 just there. So that's wrong, isn't it? Okay, it actually makes it 91 now. So it should be how many times does 2 go into 91? But that was the mistake for that one. Let's move on to the next one. How many times does 15 go into 569? Okay, so step 1, I've got my 15 times table next to me here, and something doesn't seem right. 15 add 15 is 30. Yeah, if I add 15, it gives me 30. 30 add 15 is 40. Well, that's wrong, isn't it? Dear me. 15 add 30 is 45, not 40. And because of this mistake, everything's wrong now. Look at that. 45, it should be add 15, is not 55. That's wrong. That's wrong. It's made everything wrong now. So I can't use it as a point of reference now, can I? Because I've got so many mistakes that happened right in the beginning, just here. So that's why we need to be super careful when it comes to working this out as well, because it's obviously thrown our answers off now, hasn't it? Right, let's see how it has affected us. Okay. Get rid of those. Let's have a look. 15 divided by 5 I can't do. How many times does 15 go into 56? I've written 5. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I found the 70, and I've said it's not quite there. So 70, there you go, it's already wrong, isn't it? Remainder, and it's thrown off my remainders as well. So as you can see, because of this here being incorrect, it's thrown me off, hasn't it? So be super careful when you're doing that. Well done if you did notice the mistake, and I hope it helped. This video is designed to give you my way of how I teach it. If you do have a different way or an easier way for you, use whatever you've got that gives you the correct answers. It's all good. There are many ways to do this. I know with long multiplication, it's similar to what we've done already with subtracting, and some people don't even use that. Some people can do the multiplication in their head and just keep it all short with just the remainders. So whatever works for you, use. And if you need anything else, let me know. If you want a different way of learning how to multiply and how to divide, let me know. I can make another video. Okay, thank you.